Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. We continue speaking about word order. Previously, we discussed declarative sentences, interrogative sentences or questions. We also spoke about imperative sentences. You can watch all those videos following the link in the description. Today, we continue and we'll be speaking about exclamations or exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences are somewhat different from declarative sentences, but still they contain the SVO formula. Exclamatory sentences are those sentences that you say when you are fascinated by something, or when you're being emotional, when you want to say how beautiful or awful something is. These sentences are emotional, so exclamation mark is obligatory. What about the structure of the sentences? Exclamatory sentences contain the SVO, though the formula is a little bit different. We put how or what in front of the SVO, that is, in front of the subject, verb, object. Let's see. How, what, subject, verb, object, adverbial modifier. Let's look at this chorus from the song What a Life by Scarlet Pleasure. What a life, what a night, what a beautiful, beautiful ride. All of these sentences here are exclamations or exclamatory sentences. And we can see this structure. What precedes the SVO, what a life. But in this particular case, we don't have all three components, we only have the subject. What a life. This is enough for an exclamatory sentence. They can be very short, containing only what or how and the subject. So the basic component, the word that is inevitably used in every exclamatory sentence, is the subject. If you remember, in the previous lesson we discussed imperative sentences. So there, in imperative sentences, this basic component is the verb. You cannot form an imperative sentence without a verb. With exclamatory sentences, you cannot drop the subject. You will always have the subject in such sentences, but you won't always have the verb. I want to stress that though exclamatory sentences always have the exclamation mark, they don't always belong to the imperative mood. Check my lesson on moods here or in the link in the description to this video. Please note that not all exclamatory sentences belong to the imperative mood and not all imperative sentences are exclamatory. The exclamation mark is possible in both imperative and exclamatory sentences, but only in exclamatory sentences it is obligatory. It is a must. Okay? Tell me your name. Stop the car. These are imperative sentences. The first doesn't use the exclamation mark. What a great person she is. How many things we have to discuss. These are exclamatory sentences, and both of them use the exclamation mark because it's obligatory in exclamatory sentences. Now we have somewhat different exclamations in English that do not follow this formula. Exclamations can also be formed using so in front of adjectives and adverbs. They can also be formed using such in front of nouns. Let's look at these examples. The cake was so tasty. He's such a sweet cat. They are such kind people. Please note that we use so in front of adjectives and adverbs. For instance, so tasty, so good, so beautifully. Beautifully is an adverb. But we use such in front of nouns. Such a taste, such goodness, such a beauty. The presence of the indefinite article here depends on the noun that you have. For example, goodness is an abstract noun, so it doesn't take a. And of course, you don't use the in this structure. It's such a or just such. Such a or such depends on the noun that follows. Such a plus singular countable noun like cat in such a sweet cat. Such plus abstract or plural noun, like people in such kind people, plural noun, or like goodness in such goodness, abstract noun. Now, how dare you? How dare you? Is it a question or is it an exclamation? Well, that depends on the context. Let's compare. Let's look at 4 different ways we can use the phrase how dare you. How dare you say that? How dare you say that? How do you dare to do that? Or how did you dare to do that? Now let's support each of the sentences with some context. How dare you say that? How dare you spread that gossip behind my back, liar? This is an exclamatory sentence because how dare you expresses your dissatisfaction with the situation. The speaker is angry. It's not a question, it's an emotional reaction. The second, how dare you say that? How dare you spread that gossip behind my back? How can you do that to me? Obviously, we see that the speaker is also angry or upset about this situation, but he or she here might be really interested in the answer to this question. So tell me, why? How dare you say that? How can you do that to me? How do you dare to do that? Aren't you afraid that the rope will break? Here, dare is not a modal verb. You can check my video on semi-modals and on periphrastic modals if you are not sure why. This is a genuine question. I really want to know the answer. How do you dare to do that? Why aren't you afraid that the rope will break? Basically, I'm asking, where do you find that courage? Why are you so brave? Right? And the last one, how did you dare to do that? You should have a lot of courage to tell that to your boss. The speaker here is obviously surprised, but in a positive way. What I want to say here is, wow, you're so cool, yeah? It's a question that doesn't demand an answer, but obviously it's not an exclamation, because I might be interested in how exactly did you manage to do that. If you need to revise the formulas of questions, please follow the link to the video where I explain how different types of questions are formed in English. Now let's take a little test. Take a look at these sets of words. Try to make a sentence of each of them and remember the SVO rule. Keep in mind that there are sentences of all the types that we have discussed so far. You can make a screenshot of what you see now on the screen, do the exercise yourself, and then check it with me. Let's go. Weather cold he likes. He likes cold weather. This is a statement. The subject is he, likes is the verb, cold weather is the object. The canonical SVO word order. Number 2. My, an engineer, brother's is girlfriend. My brother's girlfriend is an engineer. The same. The library take I, the book will today too. I will take the book to the library. We have the subject, I will take is the verb, the book is the object, and to the library is an adverbial modifier. Number 4. And to a bar the movies went, then we too. We went to the movies and then to a bar. The color, the year of is what? We have what, so chances are that it's a question. What is the color of the year? You don't to the zoo, go, want, you do. You don't want to go to the zoo, do you? This is a tag question. We'll be speaking about different types of questions in the nearest future. What we see now is the word order of a typical question is in the tag, do you, yeah, do you. The rest is a negative statement. You don't want to go to the zoo, do you? We stick to the so-called mirror principle. If you have a negative statement, the tag is positive and vice versa. Let me do this with a sentence. You want to go to the zoo, don't you? Number 7. What a day wonderful. What a wonderful day. It's an exclamatory sentence. Installation for see details instructions. The subject is missing. It's an imperative sentence. See installation instructions for details. Who the Netherlands once lived to in. Who wants to live in the Netherlands? That's a special question, in particular, a question to the subject. Who wants to live everybody wants to live in the Netherlands, or you want to live in the Netherlands, etc. And the last one, place this cozy so is. Place can be a verb, but in this case we have another one, which is. So it's a noun here, and what we have is this place is so cozy. It's an exclamatory sentence. That's all for today. I hope this lesson was useful. Next time we'll be speaking about different types of inversion in English. Actually, we'll see how we can violate those rules that we have studied. Subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm doing, leave your comments down below, and see you in the next lesson.